All right, today I'm going to do my fifth in the series of reviews of the Lost albums, Bruce Springsteen's tracks to the Lost albums. I'm doing them in order from what I think are the best to the least best, I guess, although I think they're all good. This is number 5. I had the Streets of Philadelphia sessions as number 1, Twilight Hours as number 2, Inyo as number 3, and Faithless as number 4. I thought all those albums were great. I think the fifth album is great that I'm about to talk about, and that is Perfect World. In fact, Perfect World has 10 great songs on it. And it is the E Street Band album in this Lost album collection, and it rocks. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. The first song, I'm Not Sleeping, is a really fun, good time rocker. There's a couple of really nice relationship songs on here. There's a couple of, typical Bruce, a little bit brooding songs, The Great Depression, which actually, interesting lyrics with kind of rock and music, which isn't that unusual for Bruce. It's a really good album. So why do I have it number 5? Because it's not a coherent thematic album. It actually was never intended to be an album. It is one of the 2 Lost albums that really isn't a Lost album. It's a collection of songs. These are songs recorded with the E Street Band roughly over the last 20 years. Maybe 25 years, 1 or 2 at a time, that just kind of got left on the cutting room floor somewhere and never found a home. Several of them found homes with other artists. Perfect World itself was actually on one of John Mellencamp's recent albums. He kind of growls his way through it. I'm Not Sleeping, I think, was done by Southside Johnny. I've definitely heard that song before. I think Another Thin Line, I don't know if it ever got released, but that was kind of, I think Joe Grashevsky did that. Bruce has performed that live before. So a number of things on here that have shown up from other artists, but not from Bruce. But that doesn't mean it's not good. I think I hold Bruce to a higher standard than most musicians. Most musicians write 10 songs, they don't interact or connect to each other, and they put out an album, and that's what it is. And Bruce has done that once or twice in his career, and it's not his best work. His best work is the majority of the time when his albums really kind of coalesce around a certain theme, a certain mood. And that's what the first 4 albums that I had ranked ahead of this all did. They all really fed into a certain theme, a time and place and mood, that this album doesn't do as much. But it doesn't mean it doesn't have great songs on it. Cutting Knife is an outstanding song, I think it really holds up well across Bruce's entire catalog. I'm Not Sleeping, like I said, is a lot of fun. The Great Depression is a good one. You Lifted Me Up is either a religious song or a relationship song, depending on where you fall in those things. But it's a beautiful melody and a beautiful song. I find myself singing it to myself all the time. Perfect World, not a perfect album, but a really good album. I'm glad he put it out. I'm glad he included it with the collection. I'm glad to hear the E Street Band can still make great music. I'd love to hear the Rockin' come out. I will, as an aside, say that when Bruce released singles up front for all these albums, I feel like he released the wrong ones to really garner attention for the album. Like off of this album, he released Rain on the River. 100 times out of 100, I would have released I'm Not Sleeping. That's a fun, rocking song that immediately grabs your attention. But Bruce does things for the reasons he does them. I kind of feel that way about all the albums, that if I was going to try to get more interest in my Lost albums, the songs I would release are not the songs that Bruce released. They aren't the songs that are going to get the most immediate energy from the public, even from the Bruce-loving public like myself. But I got to say, just on that aside, the albums have turned out to be far better than I expected after hearing the 7 singles that were kind of released 1 week at a time before the album came out. The material on the albums and the general sense of the albums is actually much better than that came out, which I'm really happy about. So I won't prolong this review. Perfect World, number 5, but excellent. A lot of artists would be happy to ever put an album like this out ever in their career. For Bruce, it's number 5 on a list of Lost albums, none of which he thought were good enough to put out. So that's how great he is, and why I love him so much. So that's it. That's where we're at. Number 5. We'll do number 6 and 7 a little later this week, and wrap the whole show up. Thanks. Bye-bye.